Hi crafty friends, Melissa Minor here. Thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. Welcome to the Scraps to Embellishment year-long YouTube hop. This is where my friends and I take scraps and create beautiful things with them. We'll have a new hop every month. Be sure to check out the description box below for links to all my crafty friends as well as a playlist to our YouTube hop. All right, let's go ahead and get started with today's project. I'm starting with this scrapbook.com cheetah stencil. I love this stencil. It is so fun and you can make the cheetah whatever color you want. I'm using a little bit of pixie spray on the back of my stencil, and then that just adheres it to my cardstock temporarily. I'm bringing in some Distress Oxide ink in the color Kitsched Flamingo. And a little tip, I like to add my ink right up to the lip of my mat, so that way I can just dabble into my ink with one hand. Today we're making a Valentine card, and going along with the theme of Stamp Color Cut, we are going to be inking some things, stamping some things, and die cutting some things. So once I get my ink all blended in here, I'm making a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 A2 American Standard card. So I've got this all inked up, and then I love the peel and reveal. So we'll just get a little bit more on the edges here, and here's our peel and reveal. Isn't that awesome? Now, I didn't pay attention to get a lot of ink in the center because I am going to be covering up that part later. I'm bringing in a little bit more ink, inking along the edges here just to draw in a little more color. So I'll finish this up quickly and then we'll move on to our next step. All right, this is looking pretty good. I'll set this to the side, and now I want to bring in this die. I just got this die and I think it's a new release. This is from Sissics, Tim Holtz, and it's called Letterboard Dies. And this right here that I'm showing you is an embossing folder that comes with the dies. And so I've cut a piece of black cardstock here, and I've already ran this through my die cutting machine with the embossing folder. And so it made those lines as if it were a letterboard. Let me turn I have my Platinum Scout machine here. This is in the rose gold. This is custom to scrapbook.com, and I also have a magic mat on here. And I'm going to take the words love you and spell that out, and we're going to run this through the die cutting machine. Now I do want to mention that I am affiliate with scrapbook.com, and I will have links to all the products that I'm using today in the description box. And if you click on my link and make a purchase, I do appreciate that, as I do receive a small commission at no extra charge for you. So that really helps support me and my YouTube channel. So thank you to all those that shop my links. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull these letters off the die cutting machine here. And I've got the magic mat. This is the regular one. They have a magnetic one too, and I wish I'd have that. I'm having to bring in a little tool here to get all those die cut letters off the mat, and then I'm placing them into my stack and sort tray. All right, now that I have all the letters cut, I'm bringing in some Nuvo glue. Now I like to use this Nuvo liquid glue when I'm doing small die cuts or when I'm using cut files, and the reason is because this glue dries clear. So any that seeps out among the edges, you won't see any white spots from the glue. This will all end up drying clear. So I'm using some reverse tweezers here to hold the letters while I get them in place here, while I get them all glued up. So I'll only glue a few on camera, and then I'll finish this up off camera and get this to spell love you on this cute little letterboard. Imagine all the possibilities of all the words you could spell out on this letterboard. You could use this for every holiday. You can use it for scrapbook pages, so many different ideas. But I thought it was perfect for Valentine's Day to spell out love you. And here we go. Doesn't that look good? I love it. Now, let me bring in the background that we inked up, and that's going to look so pretty on there. For my image that I'm stamping and coloring today, I'm using this panda from scrapbook.com, and I have my mini Misty here, and then I'm also using the nested A2 rectangles from scrapbook.com. Now, I use those rectangles to cut out this white piece of cardstock that I'm going to stamp my panda up with. And then the ink that I'm going to use for my panda is the Spectrum Noir Alcohol Proof Dye Ink in the color of black. So here it is right here. And that's because I'm going to be coloring this panda bear up with some alcohol markers. And so we don't want the ink to bleed. And so this is the perfect ink for stamping anytime you're using your markers. All right, I'm inked it up a couple times here, gave it a press, and I think that looks good. Now we're ready to start coloring. I'm going to be using 2 different sets of markers. I've got my Spectrum Noir alcohol friendly tri-blend markers, and then I've also got some Copic markers. So when I'm coloring in a white image, there is this trio of these gray markers that I like to use, and those are the colors of C2. So that's the one I've started with here is C2. And then after, that's my darkest color. And then I'm going to come in with C00. And then I'm just going to blend that out from the edges. And this just gives your white stamped images a little bit of color without making them look gray. So anytime you have like white images like a polar bear, a panda bear, anything you want white, I like to bring in these colors. Now after the C2 and the C00, I like to bring in the number 0, and this is the colorless blender. And so what I do is just go over the very center here or anything else that looks too dark and then just blend that out. So that just gives that just a little bit of shadow, but makes it look like it's colored in and not just pure white. All right, so to bring in some color, I'm bringing in the Spectrum Tri-Blend markers, and this is the magenta blend. And I started coloring this balloon with the medium, and then I'm going to go around where I just colored the medium and drag that color in with the light. I'm also going to go over his bow tie just with the light. It's so small, you don't really need to worry about any blending, I don't think, on the bow tie. And then to finish off his little cheeks, I'm bringing in the pale pink blend in the lightest color, and I'm just going to draw a couple little circles here just to give him a little color. Now I went outside the edges of the lines just a tiny bit, so in order to camouflage that, I like to use a white gel pen. All right, it's time to assemble my card. So I'm making an A2 card base here, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Going to bring in my scrapbook.com refillable dot runner. I love this adhesive. It allows you to glue things down, and if you need to pick it up, you can. So it like dries permanent after a while. It has like a temporary adhesive at first and then dries permanent. So I'm using that also to glue down our little letter board, and I didn't get this quite lined up, so I'm adding this to the center here. And that looks good. And now I'm going to bring in my panda bear. We'll place that on top. And that looks good. Now to bring in a little more detail, I am using a Le pen. This is a journaling pen. And I'm just going to draw a line around the border and then a little couple squiggle lines on all 4 edges here. So little dash dash, dash dash, dash dash, and another dash dash. So that's going to finish up today's card. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. I will leave links to my Facebook and my Instagram down below, and I would love for you to follow me on those platforms as well. Again, this is a YouTube hop, so be sure to check out all the other creators to see what they've made with our theme of stamp, color, and cut. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!